friends, I'm Kanchan from Akulmac Technologies and you are welcome to Top Brass. Today we have Sitesh Srivastava, who is a corporate trainer. He has a vast experience in training marketing professional, IT professional. So without wasting any time further, I would like to welcome Sitesh to Top Brass. Sitesh, welcome to the show.
Hi Kanchan, it is a good day. How are you doing?
Yeah, I'm fine. Weather is fine. Lot of rain. So, but then again, we can't go out. Social distancing.
Yes, and in South Africa they say, "How are you? Can't complain." And the next thing is, "Are you winning?" And so now I have tried to think of, yeah, I can't complain, but am I really winning?
Okay, so actually, since we were just talking few sentences and how these sentences are being answered by in different countries in different culture. So what
That's right.
I feel is that communication is a very very eternal part of, in fact, mankind development, right? So when
Yes.
we are born, we are so resilient that we ourselves try to walk. Then we learn languages. Then we learn talking, and when we grow up and when we go for a job interview, still it is asked that you should have a very good communication skill. Correct. So
That's right.
what is that uh, which makes this skill so important in the development of any person?
Kanchan, communication is not just a medium, it is a use of a faculty that we call our vocal cord, which is connected to our brain, and it interprets the signals that it receives from another faculty called eyes. So, a communication is a very intricate matter which takes its clues from the observation made by the eyes. It goes and processes it in the brain, then the vocal cord enables it to come out, and therefore the balance or the coordination at the minimum is the most important uh, formula or that one has to achieve to make any kind of communication. And more that I communicate and I have thought about communication in a professional way, I realize that it is more and more about the processing of our thoughts, what we observe, how we bring the tonal balances in our speech, and how we put all of this together and then communicate. It's something that we want to say or the other person wants to listen.
Okay, so I think that this communication, though we had been communicating for so long, but I feel still there are gaps, and they should be filled by family members, and then of course training. What you say? Training is required for communication skills.
Yes, training is required for the communication and effective communication. And I keep seeing a new field, probably a new field which is more evident nowadays. And this field is called speech therapists. And people are there who basically meet those people who have a speech condition, but that is more of a medical condition. But nowadays with this online stuff and people trying to take up speaking engagements, and then people appearing on the stage, the speech therapists have got a bigger job in hand, and therefore a training is definitely required. And this training has to do not only with the our vocal cords, the throw, the pitch, the tonal, the manipulation, but it also has to do about the right body language. It also has to do about the right frame of mind, and it also has to be a very very keen observation capabilities, all of this can be trained into someone to make an effective and impactful speech. And that is what makes people different from a great communicators that we see all over in the corporate world, in the political system, in the social work, and in the expertise scientific areas. So yes, a training is required for that.
Okay, so when we are talking about the skill, so do you feel that every industry has a different set of skill when it comes to communication? So different industry need a different type of communicator or somebody who has skill set, especially in communication to gel with that particular industry, or it's generic?
Kanchan, the communication cannot be generic as we understand it. And the best way to understand how generic or how not generic it is to see when a child requests something from the parents. It depends on how much conviction the child wants to get it, how much the child has it, and therefore it starts with I want it, and then it goes on and it almost becomes like a pleading, can you please give it to me? And we face this every day in our lives. And this is the same thing in the schools, this is the same thing in the colleges, and also in the corporate sector. And but you know what? In every different field, whether it is administrative, whether it is education, whether it is scientific community, the communication has got some base parameters, the basic nuances of communication. But for each of those industries, there is definitely a need, and there is definitely a expectation for a certain kind of a communication which is precise, which is concise, and which is at the same time gives the complete message or expects a complete answer.
So with our discussion, we have come to know that this skill has to be taught. It requires training. So what is the best age to really give this training? Because I really feel that we have been communicating so long and still we require the training. And so what is the age you prefer? Or what is the class you prefer?
So Kanchan, a good communication, I believe, and I certainly believe now, is an ageless thing. Why I say this, and I will go back to the cuteness of our children. Sometimes we know how nice they communicate. And sometimes I have heard parents saying that this child or my child knows how to talk to me to get the things done that he or she wants to get done. But that child behavior, the child communication happens impromptu, extempore. But I would suggest that as soon as we figure out, as an educator, as soon as we figure out that this person has a good voice, has a good communication, has a good thought process, has a clarity in understanding, the person should be put into some kind of a training on the communication part. And this may not always lead to public speaking engagements. And in schools, I know that debates happen, elocutions happen, and something that I hear nowadays, Model United Nations, MUN, that happens in the schools. And it gives a great platform for the students to practice the communication and the clarity of their thoughts, and also the voice, the modulation, the manipulation, and all of this. So I think the impressionable age of any student's life is somewhere in India, as we say, somewhere around 7th grade or 8th grade, when we really start thinking about our children's higher secondary, and probably this is true for most of the countries, I would like to believe. And therefore, that is the impressionable age when voice training or communications training is an important aspect that needs to be highlighted. And I must tell you, I mean, children, when you give them a new idea, they will already say, but I already do it. And therefore, we need to tell them the difference between great orators, great speakers versus the moderate ones, and versus the ones who cannot barely even communicate what they want to say, and they'll end up in problems.
So we will extend this topic tomorrow again, and we'll discuss this communication skill further. As usual, it is so nice to talk to you today. So we'll meet tomorrow again. Till then, bye-bye. Take care.
Thank you, Kanchan. Have a great day ahead, and let's keep communicating.
Okay, bye-bye. Thanks.